And I believe we are live. Right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm Nick and Andrea, as I'm sure most
You're
of you
Nick
know.
and Andrea.
I'm Nick and I've had hardly any sleep. Let me put this out there before we start. I've had about an hour's sleep, so I might be a bit off the wall. Anyway, welcome to everybody who's in. We are pleased to say we have Steve and Steph back with us for a bit of a chat. Do you guys want to say hi?
Hi, I'm Steve and Steph. We're the Resale Killers on YouTube, and we've only been doing it for about 8 months, I think. Yeah, on YouTube so we're kind of newish still. So we're not really great at all the technology, but we have really done a lot of local sewing.
Yeah, we're excited to talk about this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
and why have you only had 1 hour of sleep?
My mind was on so many things last night. I couldn't get to sleep, and then I was up quite early.
Yeah, then you were up with my alarm, weren't you?
So I had virtually no sleep last night, and then I caught about an hour or so after we came back from shopping. I said to you I'd show you this heap when we went live. We went shopping earlier, which is cool. And Andrew didn't want me to share these, but we got some really creepy, great big dolls. Look at the state of that.
Oh man,
is that an American doll?
It's by the same company, I believe.
American Girl?
It's an OG doll.
Yeah, but she's got like a death stare. Look at that.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's spooky.
So we got a few of those and loads of other stuff, probably to put away for Christmas.
Excellent.
So, yeah, I just don't want it to fall on me. And before we start, actually, I want to say, are you anywhere near the landslide that happened? I haven't seen the news yet, but I heard on the radio.
No, we're more inland, and usually, like California is famous for droughts, and then we have fires. So when there's big fires, and then if we get a rainy season, like a true rainy season for us, it's pretty brutal on people that are on, there's no ground cover. So there's a lot of houses, especially in areas close to the coast. They have beautiful views and everything, but when it gets eroded like that, it doesn't take much, and it's horrible.
Yeah,
like people lose their homes, and then
around Montecito, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
That area.
I can't believe you guys even hear about it over there.
Yeah, it was on the news, but then Ellen DeGeneres was talking about it as well, because Oprah is there at the moment.
Wasn't Oprah's house affected or something?
Her neighbours were.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But no, we're not affected by it. It's not near us. I mean, it is, I guess, within 100 miles.
Yeah.
But that's not very close.
Cool. So for those who don't know who you guys are, as you were saying, you are new to YouTube, but you've been reselling for a long time, and you have gone big on the local game. And that's what we thought we'd get together and talk about today. And you thought you may be able to share some things because we think it's going to go big in the UK. And Steve, you were saying that you think that is the way forward for reselling. So you've got some hints and tips, hopefully you can share with some of us.
Okay, before the hints and tips, can I do some like nerd stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm into it, and I hope it doesn't bore. I'll do it quick because I don't want to bore people, but this stuff really fascinates me. And I think it'll give you, before we start with like some tips and answering some questions, I want you to see like the big picture here, like how big this thing is already. It is going to grow, and I think it's definitely headed in that direction, but it's freaking massive right now. And as far as the UK and Europe, see, I got notes.
Cool.
The big players right now are OfferUp, Let Go, and eBay. Let Go was
eBay, Facebook.
No, eBay.
Oh.
I'll get to the Facebook in a second, but Let Go they merged with Wallapop. Are you guys familiar with Wallapop?
No.
I think they're out of Australia. And this is, in the world of finance, they call this the classified ad space. And Craigslist was like untouchable for a long time. But with the way that everything has changed with the visual-based phone, when the phones really started, becoming part of our day-to-day life, Craigslist didn't adapt. They did not take advantage of the mobile space, and it's left room for companies like OfferUp, Let Go, these apps. And Craigslist is way behind right now. That's why they were, like we say, they're dead. They're so far behind. The space that they left open was filled quickly, and it's proving to be the right way to go, because what we do on mainly Instagram, I think, and Snapchat, Twitter, those type of where you're just looking at a feed and you're scrolling down. That's how these apps are set up. Like OfferUp is a visually based app. Like you go to the thing and people will scroll through that to go shopping.
They're not looking at words. They're looking just at a picture, and then they click on it if they want to.
It's image based.
Yeah.
So OfferUp, just so you guys know, not just OfferUp, but in Europe, let's look at Europe, because it's big there. It surprises me that and maybe it's just maybe in London or maybe in some big cities, but the revenues that they're achieving on the classified space in Europe, like Spain, there's a company, BIBBO, I don't know who that is. And when I say a company, it's probably big finance behind these things. But it's a $90 million market. That's their revenues, their annual revenues. Russia, $100 million market. Sweden, 116 million. Finland, 178 million. France, 200 million. The US, the potential, see, this started in Europe. Like this classified the way it's being done now, not Craigslist, but the way it's being done now started in these other countries. eBay's there. They just have different names for all the applications they're using.
Well, I suppose just to interrupt for 1 sec, if you think about it, local selling has been going on since the beginning of time. It's just that this is the digital version of it that they're working out how that's going to work. When you think about, I mean, in the UK, certainly you had like classified ads in the newspapers.
Yeah, and Friday ads magazines
and stuff. It was all print in the past. And I suppose all we're seeing is the evolution of that, I guess.
That's actually, that's well put, Nick, because that's exactly what it is. It's not, it's just a digital age. It's more easily accessible for a wider range of people.
Yeah.
And in Europe, okay, so eBay's has a lot of experience in the classified ads. They're in Canada, they're in Denmark, Germany, the UK, Australia, South Africa, the Netherlands, and their revenues on the classified ads in those areas is 800 million a year. And the stats I'm reading, they're old. Okay, it's definitely changed. So I'm sure it's well above that now.
So that's eBay classifieds.
They don't call it that though. They've been experimenting, so they've got a lot of experience, and they're still trying to adjust. Like the U.S. market is the way that if they look at the numbers, the demographics, and everything throughout wherever it's being used in the world, the U.S. is the big market. They're predicting it'll be 1 billion in revenues for whoever wins this war, and it's not necessarily going to come down to one. But you've got. Are you familiar with Naspers? If you look up Naspers, that's like a global financial investing. It's just a big monster. Naspers is backing Let Go and basically Wallapop. So they're in there. If you guys Google that, you'll see what big money's doing. Then T. Rowe Price is another, financial conglomerate. I don't even know what they are. They're just big money. They go around buying stuff.
It's kind of like a land grab then. They're kind of staking their claim in this new market as they see it.
That's exactly right. This is the Wild West, and these are the big players. T. Rowe Price is with OfferUp, and then eBay is in there, and just I'd say more recently than these groups, because OfferUp was founded in 2011, and it was founded in Seattle. But eBay is in there. They've been in there the whole time. They've been all over Europe. And so I think that they've been doing enough experimenting and researching. With their mindset has always been, just like everybody else, monetizing it. But the other ones, the money, they know the money will come. And that's why big money's with them. They've built huge base. Like I think it's OfferUp is done in 4 years. OfferUp generated the amount of sales in dollars, it'll be like 14 billion. It took eBay 8 years to do that in its inception.
Wow.
And I'm sure part of that is just like with technology, everything starts happening quicker and quicker. But this is massive. And here's another telling stat. Okay, so Facebook, and this is a little older information also, I'm sure it's changed, but the average user engagement on Facebook, this is how much time somebody will actually sit down and look at Facebook, read, whatever. The average is 41 minutes. That's a lot. Instagram, the average is 25 minutes. OfferUp, the average is 25 minutes. That's with Instagram. They're putting up the same engagement that Instagram is. And Instagram is huge. And again, this is like a little over a year old, so it's changed. Maybe Instagram's higher, but it's still staggering. They have a higher engagement rate than Snapchat, Pinterest, and Twitter.
Yeah.
For a sales app.
It's interesting you're saying that they see it that the money will come, because that seems to be the way all of these big internet companies go now. They get the traffic, and where there's traffic, there's money. So it's all about building up a user base. I mean, we've seen that with loads of internet companies, and it makes sense that they're not too worried about where they're making their money, because it's all about getting users onto their platform and building the user base. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's enough big money and smart people. They know what they're going to do with it. They know what they're going to do when they narrow this thing down to one or two companies that are doing it. And we see it in like OfferUp. They offer things, they can make money right now if you use some of the enhancements that they have. And there's advertisements on some of the other ones, but it's going to all get consolidated. And in the meantime, we need to take advantage, because at some point they do want to make money at this, and they're going to make money at it. Hopefully their goal, which some of them state their goal, is to make it, they don't use the word cheap, but it's going to be, an easy, not excessive fees, like they're really the competition's hammering eBay on a lot of the fees and stuff. So we'll see what the future brings. But right now, if you're not taking advantage.
I was going to say that is one of the big draws is, I mean, you guys have mentioned it many times, and there's no fees comes at the end of many sentences about local selling. It's like, oh yeah. And that's a huge thing when you're in business doing this. So yeah.
It is just like getting ready to preparing our taxes and stuff. I'm looking at our office supplies. Just our category has dropped so much this last year. We did, I think we started in March, selling locally. Yeah. So, 3/4 of the year, just local sales only, hardly anything on eBay. We have almost nothing on eBay right now. And just the amount of packing peanuts we purchased. We used to buy them as tall as me, a bag as tall as me. And we'd get like 8 bags and just throw them in the garage, or huge things of bubble wrap, or get them free if we can. We try to, but we were going through that stuff so much, and it's expensive. And boxes, just dumpster diving for boxes, getting enough for how much we were selling wasn't enough. Sometimes we'd have to buy them. And packaging materials, it's expensive also. Labels, I mean, we can get them free, but fragile stickers, just all kinds of stuff to put on things. There's just so many little things, little baggies, It
adds up. If you are an eBay seller, it'll add up. Our store, we did sell a lot of bigger items, heavy items. So, obviously we had more expenses. So we really felt that impact.
Yeah, we went through a lot of tape.
It's been great.
A lot of tape.
We are always having a top up, because we are pretty much 99%. We send it through the post, whatever we sell. Yeah. So you can imagine, apart from Amazon FBA, which is a growing part of our business. So we send that away, and then they deal with that, obviously. But everything on eBay.
Obviously, the plus side of eBay is that the market is so much bigger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we do have that reach, but yeah.
And I was going to say, we're talking about sort of scrollability and what people like.
Scrollability.
Well, that's my word for it.
That's a good word for it.
Scrollability, as in scrolling.
Oh, scroll on the
your
phone.
Smartphone.
Yeah.
I made that word up. But
I love it. It's perfect. I'm going to use it. Scrollability.
eBay are really trying to go for that, aren't they? With the whole, smartphone apps and using photographs more than descriptions, and that just seems to be a bigger trend of people. People prefer to go through and look at images and hardly read descriptions anymore.
We lead our lives on our phone now, and this is us. This is our generation. You imagine our kids, and then our kids' kids. It's just everything is going on the phone. I mean, I thought I'd lost my phone when I went up to stay with Tom, the English picker. We went out on quite a heavy night out, and I thought I'd lost my phone, and I felt bereft. I thought, I'd lost my arm. So it's like, and these companies know that we live on our phones, so everything is going that way.
We do, and we don't have a lot of time, so we need to scroll through quickly. So that's why photos And some photo-based apps are better than anything else.
Yeah, you
really.
see it and you want to just click it,
Yeah.
and like you guys, I'll see you at Starbucks in 10 minutes, and it's done. So
Yeah.
I just need to say I've been very rude and I haven't said hi to anybody in the chat. And we've just had a super chat from Krillin. Let me just quickly read that. Steve and Steph, which selling app is better for which niches? So maybe we could start there with a question, then we'll get into it in a bit more depth about your hints and tips.
Yeah,
so
this is for US. I mean, because and we can only talk about what we experience here in California in our area. So that's they do kind of vary, but
I think that you know what, if you ask that same question about eBay, it's going to be, there's no like, this is the best app for this niche, or this is the best app. We always tell everybody we tried every app, and the ones that we slowly would peel off an app if it didn't make it worth our time. And we narrowed it down to 3 that we use in our area.
And maybe once a month we'll put something on all the apps again, just to try them out. Something that's a really hot seller, to see if anybody jumps on it. And we never get any activity on the other ones. We kind of don't really bother.
But you do want to try to.
I was going to say that the different apps will be investing in promoting in different areas and stuff. You won't know who's finding out about these apps and when they're going to grow and fade away or whatever. So.
Exactly. Like let go. Backed by Nasper. Nasper has dumped a ton of money into TV ads. I mean, a ton of money.
I've seen the most commercials for that.
Yeah.
That app,
so there,
for sure.
Some areas, that's going to be like people, you're just going to gravitate towards that because you see it on TV. OfferUp has been a grassroots effort. They've done all theirs is through the internet, social media. So that one builds kind of organically, I guess. And if it pops up in an area, it seems to, just flourish like that, just word of mouth. That's how we found out about it.
We don't know why it's big in our area, but it has been our biggest one the whole year until Facebook kind of maybe has gotten a little bit even more activity. I don't know what
Facebook
changed,
is growing, but it's still OfferUp is
yeah.
We're getting off track here.
Yeah.
Throwing's question. Okay. If there's a niche, here's how you do it. This is what we would do. We would take, if we find an item that we don't usually sell, we put it on all our apps. And I don't think it's a matter of a niche. I don't think there's an app where it's like, there might be, but as far as volume goes, I think that there's not an app where people go, just go here for your tools. You're going to have a small audience.
Yeah.
These apps we've sold, in addition to what you guys see us selling on our liquidation, customer returns, we've sold tools, exercise stuff, audio, visual. I mean, all the things that you sell on eBay, you can sell on these apps. Now, some areas you might not have success because we have people that have contacted us that start doing it, and right away they'll go, hey, we finished a video before and somebody will send us a message. They listed something local and it's sold, and they're meeting somebody. We have other people contact and say, hey, this is crap, and you got to try. If it's coming to a neighborhood near you soon, if it hasn't grown in the place that you live right now, or it just hasn't caught on, I can't see it not. We know people that do exactly what we do, sell what we do the same way we do, like 50,000, population of 50,000 for like, there's one of our subscribers like to bike, and she's killing it. With doing the same. She buys the same stuff as us from the same place. Yeah. So
the only app that is a little different is one that we talk about every once in a while. It's called Garage Sale, and we just have a lot of luck with it, but it seems to be geared toward moms. Yeah. So anything that moms are buying, like a stroller or baby clothes or kitchen stuff, like we sell a lot of kitchen stuff. Great luck on that app and a lot of repeat buyers, but not a huge market base. There aren't a ton of people on there, but they buy a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's a weird one because they're from Canada, and Steph's right. It's moms.
Never seen a guy on there ever.
They're very loyal. Like they buy from you. At least in our case, they buy from us. They follow us on there and they request stuff from us, and we have a big repeat customer base through that. And there might be. See, that's the thing. These apps are out there, these little ones that are going to get, somebody's going to eat them up.
Yeah.
that if you test the apps in your area, it might be one that nobody's heard of before, but in your area, you might be really successful, with that app if you try it.
Yeah. I saw somebody had said that they, where was it? It was up higher. They said that they didn't think it would work well for the stuff that they sell because they sell antiques and collectibles. And I don't know that that's necessarily the case, just because there are some things you can do. If you happen to stumble, since it is visually based, they might see your item and think, oh, that's neat. I haven't seen anything like that before, and click on it. And you can lure them in to looking at your store, I guess you'd call it, by writing in there. We've got tips on there, but always write in your listing, check out my other items. I sell blah, 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 the kinds of things that you sell. Yeah. And they'll click on you and they'll see everything else that you have. And we have so many sales that they're getting multiple things from us. And some of them have nothing to do with each other. Like we'll just throw something on there, like a piece of sporting equipment or something. And they'll be like, okay, I need these 2 pots and pans. And also my husband, I showed him this and he wants this, or whatever it would be. It's really weird.
That's interesting.
You might get the right kind of buyer who might see all your stuff and be interested in it.
It feels, going back to the original question, it feels like this is going to be a chaotic market, I think, for years to come, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is so local based, and things will take off in like certain areas and won't in others. And even when it does perhaps boil down to 2 or 3 big players, it's still going to be like that. It's still going to be patchy, isn't it? Things will take off.
I think so. Yeah. There is something now. They're all seem to be adding on sales or shipping options. Like I heard that OfferUp now is offering, shipping. I don't know. We haven't had it. We've checkmarked it on Facebook, but nobody's ever been interested. But I've contacted we source from these apps too. But I've contacted so many people where it's like something, because you can expand your search range up to X amount of miles. Like say it's, 40 plus miles, and you see maybe it's something in another state, and you just say, hey, I see you're selling this local. Would you be willing to ship these? And they've shipped stuff to us. I think it's going that way.
We actually had a sale recently where somebody they found it they Googled it. They were in South Carolina and they Googled an item, and we just happened to have it, a cheapy little item. And she had broke this item. It was a Christmas thing, and found us. She's in South Carolina, found us through a Google search. And so we shipped her, she paid us through PayPal, and we shipped this item across the country. And we were so excited. We're like, this is groundbreaking. Now we're going to just advertise all over the United States.
Just the fact that Google could pick that up and it's promoted somehow in their search engine. So
yeah, but our excitement was quickly dampened when we found out that you could get ripped off if somebody, like if they're doing the PayPal, there's ways that they can, because we were thinking it was friends and family, oh, there's nothing she could do. And it was a cheap item. So even if it was going to be a scam, which it wasn't, she was really pleased and it was great. But I was like, hey, starting tomorrow, we're advertising all over the United States and we'll ship whatever they want. But it hasn't hit that point yet.
It's so powerful when you think, though, like you said, that Google picked up on that one item and somebody somewhere that wanted it hooked you up
across the country.
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? You've got a random thing. You want that one person somewhere to find you, and if Google is hooking it up through these apps, that's
let me tell you how random it was. It was a little pedestal for like a cupcake, and then it had a glass dome on it with a little bunny, a glass bunny on top. And we had no pedestal in the box, but I'm like, this little glass dome is really cute. Maybe somebody will want it for a birthday or like around Easter. I'm just going to list the dome instead of throw it away. It's cute. That lady found that dome because she broke the dome when she gave it to her daughter for Christmas. So she needed only the dome. She had the pedestal. That was weird.
I love the fact that you married up those two, that person and that thing, that random thing. I love it. I love.
Yeah, she said her 6-year-old was devastated when she broke it.
She was so happy when she got that. She wrote us a long thing, like she was really, really happy. Yeah. Hey, Krillin gave you another super chat there.
Oh, Krillin, let's
questions.
I've not
behind.
And Krillin, the question he asked about Facebook is, when we list on Facebook, what we'll do, Krillin, is we'll go to the marketplace. And when you do your listing, at the end of your listing, you'll have an option of posting it to groups. And the local groups, we do quite a few of them, but you could pick like a radius within your town or next,
Yeah, let me explain that first too. In case it is in your area in the UK, and it might be, what you have to do first is in Facebook, you have to join local groups. Somebody makes a group. You guys could make a group. And it would just be your town name, or your, a certain area or whatever it would be. And that local group is just for selling. So we join all of them that have our town name in it, because that means we're willing to meet somebody in that town. So we join all those groups, and we're in like 10 of them. So there's one that's a yard sale one. There's one that's a, you know, no rules one where you can post whatever you want. There's all different ones. And then people, however many join them, they join these local groups. So there's the marketplace, Facebook marketplace, but then there's also these local groups. And these local groups are only being seen by people that are members of the group. But so post to all of those groups, because you never know who's
popular here. The Facebook local groups. I mean, we're in a very small rural town here in Hitchin, and there's 2 or 3 selling groups that are.
Are we rural?
Yeah, we're quite out in the country, really, quite small. And there's like at least 2 or 3 local groups, and some of those like specialize in kids stuff and stuff like that. I know my sister, who's got 3 young children, she's on several Facebook groups that just buy and sell kids toys and clothing and stuff like that. So there's real niches in those as well.
There are. There's also
you can start a group too. Like I've been wanting to do that, but apparently it's too laborious and labor intense. Like
subs that have told us. We've had subs that have told us that in their area they have local groups that are auctions.
Yeah.
And they're auctioning their stuff off. And I don't know how they're doing it in the comments. You just say how much you bid. I'm not sure. And then you all meet up and then you sell your items, but they're having local auctions through Facebook.
I think that gets back to what you said earlier, Nick. It's just like it's kind of a free for all out there. And, you know, things are just there's going to be some problems and hiccups and whatnot, but ultimately there's huge opportunity, you know, and if you're an entrepreneur at heart, there's some opportunities out there for you to take advantage right now. Even if you sell used, even if you just go to thrift stores all the time, you could set up a group where it's like my thrift store finds, and if you start an auction, turning over like stuff rapidly, you might even attract other resellers where they just have a one-stop shop. And maybe you don't make a big profit on the items, but you turn it over so fast, you know, that you can, I mean, there's so many ways you could take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And there's so much interest generated in the local thing, particularly through your channel. I mean, you guys have burst onto the scene on YouTube, and everybody seems to be talking about local now. And with that in mind, I mean, we're already half an hour in. Let's get on to what would you advise people if they're going to get what would you say are the big tips for local selling?
Here we'll do, and we'll try not to elaborate too much because we talk a lot. Number 1, do it. Freaking do it, please. Like we want people to reap the rewards, and hopefully, maybe not everybody will, but if you try it, like give it an honest effort, I think you'll be surprised. But so when you do your listings, here's some quick tips, and we'll just go back and forth here. When you do your listings, if you narrow it down to multiple, you know, apps, we have a video where we could show you. If you get a hold of us, we'll link you to a video where we'll show you how to do multiple ones real quickly. But when you do your listing, always start your listing with, here's where we meet our buyers. You know, this is where we meet our buyers, and put in there, you know, we bundle deals. Sell your store right away in the beginning of that listing. And then you'll have the description, and at the end of the description, put again like what you do, and you want to constantly remind people that this is where we meet.
Yeah, we're meeting you at this particular place, so it weeds out all the people that go, oh, can you meet me here, or are you located?
It'll save you in the long run. Our experience, you're still gonna have those things. You're still gonna have the time wasters, but ours dropped considerably with just that.
Hammering in there twice and mentioning twice that we have multiple things to sell. So please look at our other items and how to find them if they don't know how to find them. Like in Facebook, it's kind of hard to see what somebody else has for sale. Right. So teaching them how to scroll down in your item, look at about or seller info, click on that. Then you can see all of our items we have for sale. Things like that. It definitely.
Well, I would call that idiot proofing it. So would you say you have to make these things idiot proof?
I like the way that I'm going to use that. Can we borrow that phrase from now on?
Yeah, it's yours, Steve.
That's the way to put it. It's idiot proofing. So another idiot proof. Here's what you're going to get a lot of. You're going to get a lot of, if you're on Facebook, you're going to see, I'm interested in this. Okay. I'm interested in this. We get 100 of those a day. So we used to go, oh, cool. You know, we thought we were just talking to a regular person. You're not. So what you do is you say, you always, when somebody asks a question, we always answer them with that they have to get. We ask a question in the answer. So for instance, if they say, well, I'm interested, we respond with, it's available. It's available for pickup we live in Temecula, if you want to buy it.
No, what time would you like to meet?
Well, I'm giving number. This is a reader, like a real quick one, guys. There's other, you can get more detailed if you want, but it's like, it's available. We live in Temecula if you want to buy it. And then some people are going to say to themselves, they're going to say like, oh, I don't want to commit to you. And they'll never bother you again. Some people will ask the next question. And some people, then there'll be that small percentage that will still waste your time. But over time, when you do a bunch of these deals, you will feel, just from the communication, you'll start to see a pattern with the ones that are wasting your time. So if they respond from that point, if they say, great, where can I take a look at it? Even though you've already told them where. You say it again.
Sorry, our dog's eating.
You say it again, and then you always finish with, when would you like to pick it up? When do you want to buy it? You always make them answer a question. And when you do that, you eliminate a lot of them. And we're telling you this from experience. We're telling you from dealing with.
You got to trap them in.
Yeah. Tons and tons of offers. We'd sit there, like there was times when we first started this, everyone that came in, we would spend so much time with each person. And it was like, what the heck? Are there that many weirdos out there? Well, here's an example of how we look at this. Like Nick, you and Andre had a brick and mortar.
Yep.
And you had customers that would come into that store, and I'm sure there was customers that would come in and never buy anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, but
go away.
Yeah, exactly. So but I'm sure there was customers that would come in and not buy anything that day, but maybe they'd come back because they saw something and they'd come back and buy, whether it was they didn't have the money at that time or whatever, they would come back. We look at the people that are contacting us is some of those people are not intending to ever buy. Some of those people are interested, but they know they can't buy right now. And some of them are going to buy. So the ones we answer them in a way that we eliminate the ones that'll never buy, and the ones that might buy in the future, we're being polite to them. You know, we're saying, we're making them answer a question, and it might make them squirm a little bit when you say, yeah, you want to buy it right now or whatever. And they might say, let me think about it.
That sorry to interrupt. I totally agree. You have to be direct. The small amount of times we've done person-to-person local pickup, I'm very much about asking a very straight question and keeping it simple and waiting for the answer. Because if you do get into long-winded, oh, what time's good for you, and this, that, and the other, and you just, be very straight and very abrupt. Because I think talking to a lot of people about this, and there is so much interest in local, the big worry is people are so flaky, people won't turn up. And listening to you guys who've had a lot more experience than most, I think you're right. You've got to be straight to the point.
Totally.
And weed out these flaky, annoying people.
Yes. There's one thing that, like Steve had said, the main thing is that the first time somebody says they're interested in something, that's when you ask the question. You say, they say, is this available? You say, yes. What time do you want to pick it up today? To where you're dialing them in for today, unless it's at night. They will say, we're available tomorrow. What time did you want to meet? That kind of thing.
Or if we have people scheduled.
Yeah, or we say, we're meeting customers at noon. We're meeting 3 other customers. Will noon work for you? That kind of thing, where they have to kind of follow up and say, no, it's not going to work. This time's better for me. Or, yeah, I think I can make it. That kind of thing.
Steph is nicer than me. And I'm not saying there's no right or wrong. Steph's version is nicer, and people like respond to that. They like it. No, I'm being serious.
Try that way.
No, hers is nicer. Mine is like, I narrow it down even more. I'm like, if you like, we're meeting people at 12 o'clock. Can you be there at 12? Or, I don't ask. I've never asked, and I'm not saying mine's probably wrong. I never ask them, will it work for you? I'm asking myself what's going to work for me in my head. And then I try to guide them to that. But Steph's creates people she makes them feel comfortable and safe, when she's interacting with them on her messages. So we're lucky to have a balance. Sometimes I write stuff and Steph will write them back.
Yeah, I won't tell them I'm writing them either. I'm like, that was a little abrupt. I better follow this up with a smiley face and something.
Yeah, like a smiley face always works.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned safety there, and that is another big question that comes up from people about, I'm not sure I want to meet people on my own, or I'm not sure I want people to come to my house. So you guys have set up a very cool system for this about locations and stuff. Do you want to touch on that a little bit? Because I know that's a question we get asked.
Yes.
I'll let Steph talk about that, but beforehand, I'd like to say this. If it's in the news, okay, if you hear something in the news about somebody getting mugged, robbed, or whatever, it does happen. But if it's in the news, it's news because it doesn't happen that often. Yeah. If it happens every single day, they will not report on it. It's old and tired. If they will not report on something that's constant. So when you look at the vast amount of people doing this and the deals that take place, it's safe. But we still encourage you to, be safe.
Yeah, there's things you do. You definitely, we only try to meet people in daylight. There's some times where people are working and it gets dark here at 5 o'clock now. I don't know. I mean, so it's going to be different in the summer, but normally it's dark so early and they're not off till 5. So they can't meet with us, obviously. So sometimes we'll do some exceptions, or if it's a repeat customer, no problem. But meet them only in daylight and tell them that too. That way they feel safer. If you say, yes, we meet customers at this location and only in the daylight, then they know, okay, it's a public place. I'm going to meet you somewhere.
That actually makes buyers feel safe. A lot of buyers, especially.
That's an interesting point, because we're forgetting that some of the buyers are going to be nervous and not sure they should be meeting these strange people that they've met on Facebook or whatever, So
exactly.
You have to consider their fears as well.
Yeah, and you also you don't have to, like, as a seller, if you're uncomfortable, like, we meet people only. We have the closest place to us is Starbucks, and it's 3 minutes away from our house, and we love Starbucks. So it's a public place. There's always a lot of activity. There's always someone there. It's not a dark parking lot. There's, it's a good place to meet people, and everybody's going to go there and get a coffee anyway. So they're likely to be like, oh, I could use a coffee. I'm going to go meet you there. Okay, sure. Let's go right now. Yeah. That kind of thing. So we'll only meet them at Starbucks, and we say that in our listing. We'll meet you at the Starbucks in this general location. We don't say the exact address, but this cross street. So they know in their head, that's the other part of town. That's going to take me 40 minutes to get there. Then they don't have to go which Starbucks, that kind of thing. You tell them all of that in your listing, so they already can plot it out. Oh, I'm going over there in that direction on Tuesday.
Yeah, but
how about Tuesday?
We want to stay on this safety real quick, because we want to answer a bunch of questions. So you let them know where you're going to meet, like in your listing. When you're communicating, here's another thing. If you're communicating with somebody and it just doesn't feel right, I don't care if you're going to make $1,000, whatever, block them. Don't deal with, if it doesn't feel right. If you just get, your spidey senses say there's something wrong with, maybe they change, maybe you agree on something and then they're texting and they're changing something, or it just sounds weird. If you have any kind of discomfort, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's, that's another way to be safe. Don't do it. I'm not talking about if somebody is just lowballing you. That's not meaning it's unsafe. But there's been times where there's people that are just like, what, this is too weird.
Yes.
And we block them.
Yeah.
So that's another safety feature. If you have the luxury of being with somebody when you do a deal, that's even better.
Yeah. Bring your friend, your daughter, your somebody.
Whatever. If you can do that. A lot of the apps like OfferUp, there's this thing. It's kind of throughout different locations in the world. They set it up at police stations and they put a sign out there, saying it's a meetup place. And it doesn't just have to be OfferUp. You could do
they have local meetups at fire stations and police stations and throughout the U.S. now a lot of the time.
So take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, we don't have anything.
Another thing you can do too is like, if you're uncomfortable or like you don't, I don't know, if you're nervous about it, you meet them in Starbucks. You say, I'm going to meet you inside Starbucks, and get there before they get there. That way they don't see what you're driving. You meet them inside the store, just sit there with your item, and then let them leave first. They don't follow you home. You see what car they get in, they leave from there. It's another safety precaution you can do. And there's people inside Starbucks. So whatever the store is, but at least there's some things you can do.
We don't want to create like a
fear,
paranoia.
There's nothing.
Like, we're telling you things like this because you should take safety steps. If you do not have, if you're honest with yourself and hey, I don't have good street sense or common sense, then do the extreme. Be super safe. If you have common sense, you're going to use it. Like if you pull up, and if we ever pulled up to a deal and we saw somebody and it just looked like, whoa, this isn't cool. We, like, say it was a lady and she said, yeah, my name's Barbara, and I'm going to meet you at this time. And you go there, and there's like 5 guys on motorcycles with chains. I'm going to freaking leave. I'm going to just drive off. But
yeah, do you think?
Yeah, I probably would. But here's an interesting thing, guys. So we deal with people in all age ranges, 80 years old to a teenager. We sold a Dyson to a teenager one time, like a 15-year-old. But the people that are under 30, they don't think about this safety thing. And they're it's so natural for them. It's more like, we've been discussing this. I can't figure it out. They feel their world is so small now. Like if you're in the United States, you could have friends you've never met in the Middle East. They're very into like a community, but their community is vast and small at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense because of the way we communicate.
Because it's like our daughter has grown up, with the internet generation, and it still amazes us. Like we're chatting here live from America to the UK and all of this kind of community thing. This blows my mind on a daily basis. It's just normal for these kids.
Yeah,
totally normal. And when we do a deal with the younger, like 20s and whatnot, they're just like, if it's an electronic item or an item that you need to test or whatever, they don't even look at, if they buy pots and pans, they don't open the box. They don't even want to. They're really pleasant. They just come up, they give you the money, super trusting. We've had people,
they don't usually try to make deals either.
No,
it's kind of weird.
They're just like, it's just so pleasant. I can't tell you. It's like, it's the easiest transaction.
I think cynically, I would have said that the youth would perhaps be more cynical and haggling and stuff. I don't know.
No,
that's interesting.
Weird.
It's the exact opposite. And
it's really weird.
And they contact us. They'll send messages going, "Hi, you don't remember us, but we bought, this from you, and we see this other thing." Never, I shouldn't say never. They're very rare ones will want to negotiate or ask for a deal or anything.
Since we're a repeat customer, do you think you could make a better deal? Never. Yeah. But it's really weird. I don't know why, but it's
super pleasant.
Different group.
I mean, it's a pleasure to deal with them. I'm serious. It really is. It's such a, I don't know. It's just really neat. And we have, like we say, don't let people come to your home. We do it with repeat customers. And occasionally there's situations where, and we take this into account. If somebody wants to come to our house and we were selling an iPhone, we'd say no, and we'd be more cautious selling an iPhone.
If we were selling coins or, jewelry or something, definitely something that would be more likely to a thief might get.
You just have a bigger, you have a broader audience with things that, that somebody nefarious might want to try to steal or whatever. Yeah. We would be more cautious with that. If somebody wants to buy a cookware set
or a stroller,
we're going to let them come to the house if it's out of necessity for us. And
like
and
we're
like
in pajamas already, and we just don't feel like it.
we were chatting with you the other day, Nick, and it was on whatever, Facebook or whatever. I don't know how we were chatting, texting, and somebody did a pickup at our house. They bought something at the yard sale. Then we told all the people when we did our yard sale. See, they're people, they know where we live, right? But we tell them what we sell, and several people are following us now. Like they would leave, and you would see them. Like they would come on our thing, a notification that they're following us. And this lady wanted to buy something else. So she paid through PayPal. We had already met her at the yard sale, and she was really pleasant, bought a bunch of stuff. And she bought something else, paid through PayPal, and came by we just put it in the back of our truck.
Yeah. And it was like, they do things here. We source a lot on these apps, and most people aren't nervous about meeting people. They're really not. They're very trusting. So they do a lot of, just come to my house and come grab it, that kind of thing all the time, where it's moms at home and, they're busy with kids and, just come by, I'll leave it on the porch and leave the money under the mat. Yes. They call it a porch pickup here. And that is really common here right now. So sometimes you'll go to somebody's house and there's money already under the mat from something else they sold.
Yes.
And you just put it under there too. You could steal it. But
our daughter went to, she went to buy something from somebody on a local. And when she went there was an envelope with money in it. So she put her money in it and so people were buying from this person and on the honor system and putting money in an envelope and then going about their business. Yeah. We've bought.
Does with his honey.
Yeah, go on. You say what my dad does.
Yeah, Nick's dad is a beekeeper and he sells honey. So they have a pot, a box full of honey on their doorstep. and then people just put money through their letterbox.
He's been doing this
a jar of honey.
He's been doing it for about 30 odd years, and I don't think they've had a jar of honey stolen. This man sits on their doorstep. There'll be like 6 or 8 jars in this box every day of the year, and people just post the money through.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Cool. But I mean, to sum up the whole kind of safety topic, I think most of what you said, it boils down to common sense. But what I think people should take away from this is there's very few bad case scenarios. And you guys are an example of that. I don't know how many dodgy deals you've had, but very, very few. Most things go off without a hitch. And if people want to take away one thing, I think it should be that.
I agree.
Yes. We've done
safety. That's take that away, please. It's safe.
I should count up how many things we've sold locally, but it's been thousands. I mean, we are adding in swap meets and stuff too, so that'd be hard to kind of add up, but I guess I could. But I should. But it's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals.
Yeah.
And
we sold rifle scopes for a while that we sourced off of Woot. So that would have been, I met one weirdo on that and nothing happened, but it was, that's the only time I've ever been a little uncomfortable.
If it was likely that bad things were going to happen, you'd have a lot of stories, but they just don't have those stories. So I think what people who are worried about it should take away.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think those precautions, meeting them in daylight, meeting them in a public place, that definitely lessens it. If somebody's going to steal from you and or rob you and they know, they want to meet in daylight. They want to meet at this place. I'm going to just bail with these people and not show up.
We have to remind ourselves on a daily basis that most people are lovely. Most people are just, salt of the earth. And the trouble is the weirdos and the people that try and scam you on eBay, I'm talking about here, they're the ones you remember. It's so annoying, but they stick in your mind. But most people are wonderful.
That's sad. Is there any other question that
There is one thing too I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you guys have Craigslist. You guys don't probably, but there's a lot of scamming on Craigslist where it's people out of the country and they're just trying to get your money to send you money orders and that stuff, just like with those emails where you inherited all this money, whatever it would be. But there's none of that on these local apps. So far, I mean, nobody's figured out how to do it yet, but so far we haven't had anything where it's been like a scam.
They text you. They don't communicate through any kind of email, whether it's an email you have specifically for Craigslist, but on these, it's just a text, and you can block on every app. You have the option to block somebody if you don't care for them.
Oh, and another great thing is there's options of rating. You can rate a transaction afterwards, just like with positive feedback on eBay, and you can write a little comment on some of them. Yeah. Where if you're going to meet somebody and you want to, like we do it all the time, how likely is this person really going to show up? You look, if they've got like 10 5-star reviews, they're showing up.
Yeah.
And you can trust more of that. Or if they've got 3.5, maybe probably not going to let this guy have much wiggle room, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's really nice on that.
I just realized we missed a little super chat from Krillin again.
No, we didn't.
Did we not miss that one about selling?
Well, I think
Facebook.
That on text.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Was it the Facebook question? Because I saw that
and we apologize, everybody in the chat. I haven't even looked down at it yet. Really.
It's so hard to engage in a conversation and read that. I find so difficult.
There was an interesting question earlier from Gary Sellers, and he was asking about would local selling work if you're selling collectibles or antiques as he does,
right?
Or is it more sort of
I do think
what you guys do, which is more new stuff.
We've sold. I would consider like the Monopoly Wood Edition. That I would consider that a collectible.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a good market for it, just because more and more people are going to be on there. And I do think that there's definitely still a place for eBay. Like, say you're parting something out. There's no way you're going to find that one person that needs that one part of that vacuum cleaner who is in your town you're going to pop up on the radius. You've got a much higher chance of selling that on eBay. So there's certain things we will not put on a local app, just because what's the point? I don't want to waste my time on it when eBay is going to be the one place to find it. So there are certain things that you definitely still need eBay.
It's going to be a numbers game to a certain extent, because everybody needs pots and pans, so they're perfect for local, aren't they? Whereas who needs an antique cuckoo clock?
Yes.
But there's
right.
Well, that's the weird thing.
Antique stores in every town, so there is a market for this stuff. It's just going to be harder to find that one person. But like you said, as the apps grow and you get more and more numbers, of course it's going to start making more sense. More eyes.
Well, I noticed around Christmas time, the weirder things that didn't get normal activity, like they hardly got any activity and they probably should have gone on eBay. Those were things people started being interested in, like for gifts. Like they isn't something random on there. If it all kind of looks the same, when there's something unique, like maybe a cuckoo clock or something like that, maybe your chances of selling that locally might be better because it's a last minute thing. I need something for this person. Yeah. This is interesting. I've never seen anything like this. You know?
I agree. You know what, Nick? I think you're right on when you say it's a numbers game. And personally, if it's not, like say you've got 100 items that are antiques collectibles, I might not want to put all my energy into doing that, but I would put some of them on a local app. It's free. And when you sell it, it's no fees. So if I put it on there and then by chance, you know, somebody buys something, it was free. You know what I mean? But we are not saying this is not a replacement for your eBay. And no matter what you sell, we're encouraging people to use this as an enhancement. And some people will transition to this. I guarantee you some will go, okay, I'm going to mainly do this versus eBay. But it's a complement to, it's another sales platform.
Another thing I was going to say is, say you don't want to put a listing for each item. One thing that really helps is taking a picture collage or making a picture collage with one of those Pick Monkey apps or whatever it is where it make a collage. And you can put a bunch of pictures, just steal your pictures from eBay, show a bunch of the items you have, make your 5 pictures, collage pictures, and say, I have these items, you know, for sale. Let me know. And then you could write what they are in the description or whatever. You could also mention what your eBay store name is, and you could put that in there and say, these are my other items. If you were interested in anything else, I also sell on eBay. This is my eBay store name. Look me up. That kind of thing. And it would definitely
That's interesting. Let you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to read Paula's comment. I know, I'm sorry, guys, we haven't been taking much notice of the chat. Paula B.
We talk too much.
Paula says, I can always tell which ones are really interested. And yeah, you have to weed them out. I always meet on my side of town in a grocery store parking lot, not at night. I don't travel to them. So yeah, she's obviously, you know, honed down how she does it and made it work for herself. And it's interesting. It's very similar to what you say. People kind of work same way.
I think that people just, once you start doing it, you will develop your own little comfort zone and your way of communicating people. But it's neat how just through text you get a feel for people. You know, you get a feel for what they're doing. So good. That was a good job. She's doing great.
Yeah.
Any other questions that we got to try to keep our answers shorter, but it's hard.
Yeah, Creating Happy Monday said, genius, Steph. I'm putting my eBay store on my Facebook listings. Yes, some of the apps won't allow you to put a link in there, but you could write your eBay name in there. And if they're savvy enough, they could try to find it. But definitely put that in there.
Good Use Goods. Jory, hi Jory. He said if somebody wants to buy, we have shipped for somebody. I'm trying to remember what it was up north. But yes, if somebody buys from us local, we don't go out of our way to do that. But if somebody says, hey, I'm in LA or whatever, and we would fill that out as far as how comfortable we feel with them with the communication, and then we do it. We have done it. And we just shipped to South Carolina, Jory.
I hate to say this, but it's happened before. But earlier in our days, like it was mainly when we only knew about Craigslist, we'd put in our listings, also selling this locally. On eBay, we'd say also selling this locally. And sometimes people would contact us. They didn't tell us, but we figured it out, that they'd found it on eBay and we're like, oh, this is local also. Let me talk to you through this, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm not saying that, but that can happen as well.
You can get in trouble with that though, can't you?
Yeah.
Now you can't. Back then it was.
We don't say what app, we just say local. So that meant it could come down at any time. That's the only reason we used to put it in our listing, was just so people would know, hey, this could sell locally, so you better jump on it.
That was before all of this though.
Yeah. Maybe
and eBay's not digging that. Like,
no, be super cautious. I got a big slap on the wrist last summer for making a deal outside of eBay, and
don't do that.
So because we all know eBay has to get paid, and they are super hot on it. So be really careful about all of that.
Yes,
don't do that at all.
Yeah, I just meant somebody contacted us through like Craigslist and said, hey, I found this item, and then they happened to mention something. So anyway, but yeah, don't do any chatting through eBay. That's for sure.
Okay, let's see.
So I'm sort of protected. Good Use Good says, I just listed on eBay.
Any other topics, Steve, on your list, or should we just take some questions as we wrap this up?
I think I can go on it forever,
Well,
but I think we should take some questions because I want to make sure.
If anybody is watching this and you are locally selling, one thing that we do.
Adam, I can't hear him now. Adam,
no, I can't
cross-posted. Yes, we cross-post on all the apps.
Yeah, some of the apps
that we use.
Like the Facebook one, I think in the rules in some of the apps, some of the local groups, they say you have to mention if it's cross-posted. I don't know why anybody
just
cares,
copy and paste. You just
put it in there.
Write the word cross-posted at any point in that listing, and apparently, that's another thing about those Facebook groups. I mean, we're going to list it and we're going to take advantage of it, but there's always a freaking power-hungry person that they get involved in those things. They run it, they run their little Facebook group, and we won't stay in those groups. If somebody is like, hey, you have too many words, or I don't dig that. And that's a beautiful thing about being a reseller. You don't have to. You just say, okay, I won't be in your group.
I'll tell you, when I first started looking on the Facebook groups a lot, I would see somebody would list, I don't know, a board game or something for sale. And at the end, it would have 3 letters, OOS. And for ages, coming from a retail background, I thought that meant out of stock. And I could never understand, why are people listing all this stuff and then saying it's out of stock? And then I think you probably told me, no, it means on other sites.
Oh, that's what it means. I thought it was out of stock too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Thought, why is everyone saying it's out of stock? You're selling it. And it's like,
yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
You missed out. You would have bought so many things.
I meant to tell you guys this too. The local selling is, if it does get bigger in your area, it's going to change the way you source also. You'll start looking at jumble sales, boot sales differently, the things that you'll buy, because you know that you could probably flip that locally much cheaper because it's too big, too heavy to be feasible on eBay, to make your money. Yeah. But you could, like a dresser or something. There's things that you could do, and you can really make some good money flipping things locally that might be not feasible through eBay, might not be worth it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've got this pair of skis. I've got one pair of skis left, and I'm determined to sell them locally now.
Nice.
I shipped another pair that were full-size skis like this, and that was a pain in the neck to package.
That's the perfect item for that.
Yeah, so I think that needs to be my mission for the next couple of weeks, is to sell those locally. I'll let you know how I'll get on.
Awesome. Yeah. You know what? That's a good point though. Like even local small businesses, we've sold stuff to. We've sold fitness equipment to, what would it be called? We're not a gym, like where they do rehab, because we bought actually
physical therapy
rehab equipment off of a government liquidation site, and that's local business. We've sold many big deli saws, like Hobart industrial type saws, to small businesses, because they look for stuff as little startup businesses, whether it's a bar, a restaurant, a flower shop, whatever. They might need even racks, like metro racks. There's a lot of people out there, not just individuals. There's businesses that are looking to buy, and they look there first. Makes sense.
There's a lot of things. Like if a company's going out of business, buying stuff, knowing you're going to flip it, but it might be too expensive to ship on eBay. But like industrial coffee grinders from a little coffee shop that went out of business, or
it's the new Craigslist.
Their pots, whatever it would be. There's so many things that you could flip locally and make some really good money. And people ask this a lot: do you make the same money that you make on eBay? We price it the same. We'll put it the same on local, like say I'm selling a Dyson. Put it the same price for $220 on eBay and on local, and local is beating eBay. People are buying it faster, and there's no fees.
We make more because of the lack of fees. And
I was going to say, if you're listing the same price, you're actually making 10% more.
Yeah,
10% more, and not to mention our time, because we won't package it up. That's those items are the only ones. The way we list on eBay, when we do our listing, we've already got it packaged up. When we weigh it, when that thing's entered into eBay, it's exactly the way it's going to be, and the box is
sealed and
ready
everything.
To go. Except for a big item like that. So we don't put no effort into packaging those if it sells locally first. So
yeah, so for listing it locally, we don't package it.
Let's try to catch some questions for these folks.
Guys in the chat, if you have any questions for Steve or Steph, pop them in now. We're going to take a few questions. We've been on an hour, believe it not, already.
Sorry.
But we will take a few questions as we wrap this up. So if you put a question in at the beginning of your statement, and we'll read it out. Graham Nichols has got one there. Question: do you see local ever taking over from eBay? Well, that's a big question.
I don't know.
eBay's is in the local thing. They're one of the big the big players. They are part of this. They have a ton of experience coming through Europe, and now they're in the United States with the local classifieds. And I just can't see that right now. We haven't heard from Amazon that's going to happen. You know, Amazon's a behemoth. So
I mean, it's called local because it's local, and that's what it is. It cannot take away eBay, which, you know.
No.
Well, eBay has that local
country to country. You know, local is never going to take that away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we sell something. We've sold cameras that were made in Japan. We sell them back to Japan. You know, it's a freaking amazing. eBay is amazing. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, and I don't see that. I mean, I'm hoping that this whole local thing makes big eBay have changes that are more beneficial to the sellers. That's what I'm hoping.
Adam said Steve likes to talk, Nick. This is short for him, and he's a good dancer.
Yeah, this is tough.
I mean,
Yeah, okay. I wanted to talk about something that we didn't touch.
What's that, Nick?
I was going to say to the guys in the chat, if you guys follow Steve and Steph's channel, link for which is below, actually. Go and check it out. But yeah, we all know.
A good singer, apparently, too.
Yeah, we all know Steve can talk.
Very good.
It's not a secret. It's a talent.
This was a tip that we forgot to touch on.
Wait, you got another question?
There's a question. Let me quickly ask Simon's question. He says, when you sell local, do people try and get it at a lower price after looking at the product? Have you had people haggle you down?
Hey, you know what? Okay, and this is part of that question. You were talking to Zahir. We were blown away by this. You guys had like your tat chat, I believe it was, and he said they made a local deal. He shows up at the local deal, and they asked for more.
After he already paid for it and was leaving, like walking out the door with it, they asked for $10 more or something.
Yeah. So in our world, when we heard, we were both like, "Are you?"
And he gave it to them.
I was.
And he paid it.
It was outrageous. That's not the norm in the UK. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because we were like, "There's no way."
Steve would have left and taken his money back out of spite. He would not have done it.
I remember when Zahir first told me about that, he said that he felt like doing that, but it was such a good deal. He did it anyway, I think.
Yeah, they kind of
threw him off.
You almost have to, if you're a reseller and you know you're going to make a lot of money on it. I have freaking issues, and I wouldn't have, but I think I should, but I wouldn't. Even if I know, hey, I can make a lot of money and rub that in his face.
I would have been livid. I would have been furious.
Oh man.
How rude.
The only thing that we do that's kind of similar is we do upselling. We will throw things in our trunk or the boot of the car and say, things that are $5, $10 items or things that we have a lot of that we just, it's amazing how often you open the trunk and they look in there and they want whatever else you're selling to somebody else. Or, ooh, I never saw that. Could I get that? And it's for sale for somebody else.
Always be upselling, guys.
We put stuff in there, just random different things, and it's amazing. Sometimes somebody will take everything in there.
Yeah. Our Prius is like if you go to a store and they put you're going down the aisles and they got that situated in a way to where you're going to buy at these stores. They'll have end caps. And our Prius, we put stuff in there where they see it and they're going to buy. But to get back to that question about do people try to renegotiate, out of the hundreds of deals we've done, there's a very small percentage because we make it clear when we are going back and forth, we agree on a price. When we're, if we are negotiating, it's through a text. So all of that is taking place in a text. When we get to the meetup, 99.9% do not. There's no negotiating. They're like they've got the money.
We've only had one or two ever,
and they're ready to go. Yeah, there was one time where somebody got more. They got a discount, and it was a weird way. I'm not talking about the guy that we made a mistake and gave him a discount, but one time I showed up. I don't remember what it was that we were selling, and it was an elderly lady, and her son drove her there, and she got out of the car, and she was super sweet. I mean, such a nice lady, and so she looks at it. She wanted it, and she goes, "Yeah, this is great." They checked it. I give her the item. Again, she was super sweet. If it was just a regular person, I wouldn't have even handed them the item yet. I give her the item, and then the son comes to pay me, and he pulls out. He was like $5 short, and I think it was like $70 or so. I go, "No, it's 70." And then he opens his wallet. There's nothing in his wallet. Meanwhile, she's already putting that thing in the car. And she's walking with her. She might have been 80 years old. And then he opens the wallet and he said that I don't have any more money. And just looked at me. I was like, man, I go, go ahead and freaking keep it, but only because of her. But that's the only time, because trust me, I would not. I mean, if we put the effort. Yeah, I mean, she was so sweet. Yeah. He probably had the money in his pocket. He's probably ripping her off. But if you do your negotiation in a text when you're going back and forth, and if it's been a real battle haggling and you come to a price, make sure when you say, okay, we're going to meet tomorrow at 2, you say, okay, tomorrow at 2, $50 cash. Just
reiterate it,
hit it again. Yeah. And we've, like I said, there's only been a couple instances where somebody has tried to renegotiate, but most of them it's already done.
And for anybody who is watching that is already doing some local selling, or if you're going to try different ones, one tip is get a whiteboard. This is a little one, but write down on there for like Saturday. We have a big one on the wall. Saturday is this dollar amount, because Steve and I are both doing all the interactions. Say what app you talked to them on. Write down your price that you quoted, and their name and what the item is or items. So that way, like if Andrea has to go meet them and you can't go, she can just look at the board and be like, she knows, okay, this was on OfferUp. Let me look at my OfferUp app, see what Nick talked to them about, that kind of thing. Or by the time you've done so many transactions, you can't remember who you talked to. But if they're on the board, the first thing in the morning, you call them or you text them and say, are we still on for 1 o'clock? Are we still on for 3? Are we still on for blah, blah, blah? Just to reiterate, you follow up the first thing right before.
You know what's encouraging about this? You know what you should take away from this? We need a whiteboard. Think about that. We need a board to keep track of the people that we are going to be scheduled to meet. Our board is on a wall in there.
Yeah.
That's the local sales thing. It took off so fast that we needed a whiteboard because we could not keep track of.
Especially on multiple platforms.
And we would do it when we first started doing it. We still had a bunch of stuff on eBay. And we were forgetting to take something off of eBay that just sold local. It was challenging. That's how that board came about.
Yeah. I've done that.
Another thing too is.
I think he was going to ask a question.
Sorry. Right before, so you follow up with them in the morning just to follow up and say, hey, are we still on for 1 o'clock? Then a half an hour before, say, we still looking good for 1 o'clock? Then when they write back and say, yeah, we're still good, you say, okay, this is the main thing you've got to do for a tip. It's so important. You write in there, I'm not going to leave the house until I hear from you. So contact me when it takes me 3 minutes to get to Starbucks. So contact me when you're 3 minutes away and I'll head over. So you don't leave until they contact you and say they're actually driving. So if they're driving and they're on their way and they're communicating with you, they're going to show up and they're not going to flake.
Yeah.
So that is really important.
Before, and I thought that was brilliant because it saves you that hassle of going out there and then there being a no-show, which must be infuriating. So yeah, that's a great tip.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go because I've got to be at Guides in a quarter of an hour.
You've got to be at Girl Guides very shortly. Okay, well, we'll wrap this up shortly anyway.
Yeah, well, it's great to talk to you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Seeing you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Cute.
Yeah. Okay, well, unless
Andrew didn't even get to talk.
I was going to say, unless another question comes in, we will wrap this up shortly because I've got poker as well tonight, guys, and I'm
you got to get a nap in.
We've had one game and I won it, so I'm top of the league. It won't last for long.
Outstanding. Awesome. Ours is getting ready to start back up.
Well, here's a good question to end on. It's an interesting one from Jory. Says, do you entertain trade offers? Have you ever traded something? Has somebody approached you and said, I've got such and such, I want your set of hands or whatever?
Actually, you know what? We contact people for trades also because our cost on our items are pretty cheap. So we do that. We made a trade one time. There was a young couple. They went on vacation, and on their vacation, they bought a brand new GoPro 5. They came back and they literally used this thing one time. They went on vacation. I think it was a gift. They came back. Steph saw the ad and said, hey, we want that GoPro 5. And we traded them a knife set.
You asked them, hey, look at our stuff. Is there anything you want to trade for? And they found some things. And they said, yes.
A knife set that cost us like $10. We traded that for it was a new GoPro. It had all the paperwork, everything, a GoPro 5.
Plus some cash. We gave them some cash too. But I mean, we can make some good deals.
So in reality, you got a virtually new GoPro for $10 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think we gave them $100.
Just so you guys know about the GoPro 5, the audio, I mean, it's an awesome GoPro, but we use a GoPro 4 because we use that one. The audio on the 5, it's got the built-in waterproof. It's not as good as the GoPro 4. Right. Just so you know, if you were going to do something like us, you're going to hook up your phone, or on your car and you're going to be talking like that, that the Ford's audio is way better.
But we do get offers a lot where people will say, are you interested in a trade? And then you look at their other items, you click on theirs and stock them. And before you meet with somebody, check their items too, because you might want to buy something that they have. Or, you know, make sure you tell them to look at your other items. But I don't think we've ever done one where we've actually traded and actually wanted it, but just because we didn't like anything that they had, and we really need nothing.
But we're open to
everything. But we love to, they do ask.
I mean, we're totally open to trading.
Yeah. Jory's just saying, actually,
we just don't need anything.
He gets trade offers all the time for video game stuff because Jory does a lot of dealing with video games. He says he got a brand new PS4 in box with 3 games for a complete in-box NES. Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
You know what? We should, when people ask us if we want to trade, we should ask about video games. Do you have any video games?
We don't know what
because we don't know anything of it, but we can ask Jory.
Yeah.
Nick knows a lot.
Yeah, Nick too.
Take a picture and just send it to Jory or me. I'll tell you what.
Lonnie too.
Okay, well, on that note, we will wrap this up. I think we got a lot of information out there, and I think we would have helped some people, or you guys would have helped some people. And I just can't wait to get involved more. I totally enjoy watching what you guys do. I know I've said this before, but it's fascinating, and I want to do more of it. So my mission is going to be to sell these skis, and I will keep you posted, okay?
Yes.
I will put it on Facebook. I'll put it on. I've never used Gumtree, but that's kind of our equivalent of Craigslist. And there's a new one here that I think I've mentioned before called Spock that I've never used. I will put the skis on Spock. How's that?
Do it on all 3 apps. And when you do it, just so you know, write it in one listing and take your pictures on your phone. Then post your picture, start a listing on all 3 of the apps. So get one open on all 3 so you can just swipe through the windows. Load your picture, load your picture, load your picture. Then write your title, then copy your title, paste it, paste it, paste it. Your description, write it, paste it, paste it, paste it. And just do them all in an assembly line like that. And, you know, swipe between the different pages. And it's way faster. You can do a listing very fast.
Yep.
That is so cool. Excellent.
Well, Nick needs to get some rest.
Hey?
Nick needs some rest.
Yeah.
Only got an hour sleep.
Play poker. I'm not getting any rest. I'll be falling asleep.
Good luck tonight. I hope you win.
I'll give it a good go. So thank you everyone for joining us. We've still got 111 people in, which is awesome. If you do enjoy what we do, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to go and check out Stephen's test channel. There should be a link below to that. And you mentioned a video earlier, actually, that I'll try and, if you share the link, I can't remember what the video was.
I said that we have a video where we could show how to list on the multiple apps. We just show you 2 different ways that we do it to do multiple apps at the same time.
Cool. Okay.
Make it fast for you.
If you guys send me the link to that, I'll share that below as well. So check that out. And it just remains to be said that I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me again. And
thank you for having us again.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you having us.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, thanks for joining us in the chat. I'm sorry we didn't answer many of your questions. We tried to answer a few towards the end. And we'll see you guys soon. We'll be back on, we'll be back on Sunday. And Steve and Steph, I guess you'll be back soon. You got any videos planned coming up?
Every day. We just show you what we do in
we do a video every day. And just so you know, people asked about our offer up shirts. We don't work for them. We're not affiliate. They just saw one of our videos and they wanted to send us a swag box. So they sent us a couple t-shirts. So that's where these came from.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Cheers, guys. Take care.
Bye, all.